Welcome back to Last Call, and we will begin our San Francisco 49ers segment with the offense and Colin Kaepernick.
Colin Kaepernick had a great year last year. Doesn't turn the ball over very much.
No, he doesn't.
He needs to consistently improve his passer rating, his completion percentage, make sure that we can know he can take over a game, has all the athletic ability. The question is, will the weapons around him allow him to do that?
One of his biggest weapons is his running game behind him in Frank Gore.
Frank Gore once again. Actually, Frank Gore played 16 games for the first time in a couple years. He wasn't hurt. 1,100 plus yards, 9 TDs. Constant force behind them, but what about their depth?
Yeah, they drafted Carlos Hyde, and then they drafted the year before Lattimore, and they also have Michael James. But moving on to what Kaepernick will be throwing to next season, we'll start off with their leading catcher in Bolden, and then we'll move on to Vernon Davis, their leading touchdown receiver.
Anquan Bolden, same thing he's done his whole career from Arizona to Baltimore, now to San Francisco. Very consistent, over 1,000 yards, 7 TDs. Vernon Davis, 50-plus receptions, 13 touchdowns, 850 yards. They had 20 of the 21 touchdown receptions last year. The question is Stevie Johnson going to be able to be that third guy?
Or the third receiver on that.
The third receiver on the depth chart.
He'll be more like the fourth guy. But do you think Bolden will be able to hold up being the number one for much longer?
Probably not beyond a couple of years. Just age and factor, and Father Time's undefeated.
He'll be helped out by that great running game. And we look at these rankings. Third in running, 30th in passing, 24th overall, and 11th in scoring. How does those all combine to make sense?
Well, the 11th scoring doesn't seem to make sense until you factor into defense and short yardage situations, goal line situations. Third in running, they've always been able to run the ball. That 30th in passing is the reason that they're 24th overall. Listen, if San Francisco wants to win the Super Bowl, they cannot be 30th in passing, period. And it's not just Kaepernick. They're going to have to open this offense up.
Yep, and I agree with you about the 11th in scoring because of their defense. And now to what I believe is the biggest story about this defense, and that's the injury to Navarro Bowman, who will be out at least until week 9, which is after their bye week in week 8. He had 120 tackles, and that was 15% of their total team tackles. That's a lot. But who do you think will have to step up big?
Oh my gosh, I mean, and that was only 120 solo tackles, so you're replacing 145 total tackles. I think it's going to be Patrick Willis and Aldon Smith if he's there. Patrick Willis, 82 tackles last year, has been a staple on that defense. Aldon Smith, when he's in there, I mean, we looked up his stat earlier. In 4 games, he had 7.5 of his 8.5 sacks last year. His legal problems continue to keep him off the field. He needs to be on the field. They have a rookie that they drafted out of Wisconsin, but they need Aldon Smith to be on that football field, or this team is not going to be as successful until Bowman gets back.
The reason Aldon Smith is so important about getting pressure on the quarterback, also with Justin Smith, they get after the quarterback. This secondary is very young. You take out Bethea, who came over from Indianapolis. Nobody's over 25 other than him.
Yes, and I'm glad you brought up Bethea because I didn't honestly know about him until I looked him up today. Playing with Bob Sanders. Reed, I mean, had a decent year last year, but he's 22. Brock's 22. Colliver's 25. And you said it best. If these guys can't get after the quarterback, how do you feel that this secondary is gonna hold up?
I believe they won't. I don't. They had a great defense, top 5 in every category, but without Bowman,
and think about their schedule.
I don't think they'll be 500.
They won't be 500 with all the teams. I mean, New Orleans, Philadelphia, and Dallas, just to mention 3.
Denver.
Denver.
But I'm talking, when I say under 500, I mean without Bowman. When Bowman comes back, I still think they'll make a great push for the playoffs.
Yes, totally agree.
And as I stated with top 10 rankings, they were 4th in rushing, 96 yards a game. That's pretty damn good.
Very, very good.
7th in passing, 5th overall, 3rd in scoring. They had a great defense.
They had a great defense, and these numbers, the only people that had better numbers is Seattle, who's in their same division, and they're healthy. So while these numbers look very good, San Francisco had better patch up the holes in their defense, or they may miss the playoffs this year. And it won't be on Kaepernick.
And that ends our segment about the San Francisco 49ers. And when we come back, we'll be talking about the Arizona Cardinals, who were 10-6 last season.